إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. As we're all aware, we're in the last 10 nights of this blessed month of Ramadan. And we know the dua that we are supposed to make over and over again. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa anni. Aisha radiallahu anha, it is reported that she asked the Prophet of Allah والسلام, if she were to witness Laylatul Qadr, what is the dua that she should make? And this is what he told her. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afwa anni. Oftentimes when we make this dua, we think to ourselves, oh Allah, you are the forgiver, you love to forgive, so forgive me. However, there's much more depth to this dua than simply that. So inshallah, in this khutbah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to delve deeper into this dua. So inshallah, we can have a better understanding, more clarity in our hearts. We can understand it better and we can benefit from the dua more, inshallah. So we'll begin with Allahumma. What does Allahumma mean and why is it chosen to begin this dua? The dua could have said, Rabbana innaka afuw. It doesn't. It begins with Allahumma. So Allahumma comes from Allah, of uluhiyya, meaning you're singling out Allah in His worship. You're saying, oh Allah, you are the only one who I will worship. I will not worship anybody but you. I will not worship you through anybody. No intermediaries. I will use your names. It is a direct connection between you and Allah. Allah tells us in Surah Baqarah, verse 163, وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُوَ الرَّحْمَنُ الرَّحِيمُ. Your Lord is one Lord. There is no Lord other than Him. So it cannot get more simple than that. It is also mentioned in Surah Baqarah, verse 186, وَإِذْ سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يُرْشِدُونَ. We all heard this ayah many, many times. If the worshipper asks of me, then verily I am near. So that's how we begin our dua, with Allahumma. Continuing on, innaka afuw. Allahumma innaka afuw. This is really has the word afu in it, which is the crux of the dua. So what does afu mean? Afu is one of Allah's names, al-afu, which is often translated as the pardoner, the forgiver of sins. However, Imam Ghazali described it as the one who erases sin. So it's not just a matter of forgiveness. It's a matter of erasing. So when it comes to afu versus istighfar, these are two things that we often seek. And we often attribute them to the same thing and we think they're the same thing. But there's a big difference. So if you think of istighfar, it is the acknowledgement of the sin and the forgiveness of it, right? So one person wrongs another person and he says, you know what, I'm sorry, can you forgive me? The other person says, okay. They're both aware that the thing happened, but there's a forgiveness there, and it's saying, okay, I'll let it go. But afu is the erasing of the sin. It's as if it never happened at all. So that's the big difference there. There's an Arab metaphor that they say, if someone is walking with their footprints, they'll leave their footprints in the sand. This is the parable of the sin. And then the afu of Allah is comparable to the wind that comes and blows by these footprints, so that the next person who comes up, it's as if there was nobody walking there before. It's completely gone. The footprints are completely gone. That is al-afu. Allahumma innaka afu. Now what does innaka mean? We have to study each word carefully so we understand why it's there. The dua could say, Allahumma ya afu tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. But it says, Allahumma innaka afu. So innaka means with surety, 100%, no doubt. If you think of, there's something you want to get, it's hard to find, but you know someone who can get it for you. No matter what, he's gotten you things in the past. He's your connect, if you will. Very dependable. This is innaka, right? So you say, Allahumma, oh Allah, the only one that I worship, the only one that I turn to for my needs. without a doubt, you are al-afuw. You are the one who pardons. And this is how we begin our dua. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afu. Now, what is tuhibbul afu? Tuhibbul afu simply translated means you love to pardon, you love to forgive, you love to perform al-afu, the act of al-afu for us, towards us. So afu, we went over it. It means to pardon, right? To erase the sin. But what is tuhibb? Tuhibb means to love. What does it mean to love, to give al-afu to us? If you think of, something that you really love, what's something that you really love? I recently had a child, so this comparison really hits home with me. Your whole life encompasses it. Life for that thing that you love. You want to know, again, going back to the child, what kind of life will you give her? What kind of example will you leave? Think of this multiplied when Allah says, yuhibbul afu, tuhibbul afu, right? Allah not only forgives and pardons often, He pardons frequently, He pardons over and over again, no matter how big, how small, forever. The day you live until the day you die, He will pardon you over and over again. And not only will He do that, He asks us to do that. He tells us, come, I will pardon you. Not only that, He tells us, here's what you should say. Say this and I will pardon you. So again, going back to the example of something that you may love, you want to know everything about it, you want to do everything with it. This is how Allah treats al-afu when it comes to His servants. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afu. You may think, I have sinned so much. There's no way Allah's going to forgive me. There's no way Allah's going to pardon me. I haven't prayed. I haven't fasted. I've committed all these sins. I've done this and that over and over again. But one thing I like to remind myself of is the example of Umar radiallahu anhu, who was a kafir initially, right? He liked to drink alcohol, all of these things. And on top of that, he was on his way to murder the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So nothing we can do ever can be lower than that, really. But he saw afu, and Allah gave him a clean slate. And now look at the person he became in this religion and the status that he has among the ummah. So with that, inshallah, I hope we have a better understanding of the dua that we need to say, inshallah, tonight, hopefully last night, tomorrow night, continuing on to the 29th, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. So just to give a brief summary again of the dua that we're studying today. Allahumma innaka afuwwun tuhibbul afu fa'fu anni. O Allah, the one who I only turn to for my needs and for my worship, without a doubt, you are al-afu. You are the one who pardons, and you love more than anything, you love to pardon. So with all that being said, pardon me. May Allah allow us to understand this dua and to benefit from it in these last 10 nights and inshallah on Laylatul Qadr. And may Allah allow us to witness Laylatul Qadr and more Ramadans coming up in the next few years, inshallah, and give us a long life full of good deeds and full of Ramadans that we can witness and Laylatul Qadr, inshallah. آتنا في الدنيا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه يزدكم واستغفروه يغفر لكم واتقوه يجعل لكم من أمركم مخرجا. وأقم الصلاة.